not so good.
So
Lots of pain.
Okay. So I know it's been a couple days since we last saw each other. What have you done in that time period?
I've been trying to do stuff around the house, do some chores, but I can't do anything for more than 2 minutes or so without the pain just amplifying past 10. And I had to sit down, and no matter how little I did the day before, I feel it so much worse the next day.
So you've tried to kind of cut back on what you do to see if it affects you long term, stuff like that. Okay. Now, when you're doing stuff like this, do you try and get some done and then rest, or do you just try and push through certain stuff that's really important to you?
I mostly try to take breaks, but there are some things that I have to kind of push through, like when I'm cooking or trying to cook at least. I obviously can't take a break and have something burn or anything like that on the stove. Those are some tasks I have to try to push through,
Okay.
but other times I try to break it out throughout the day.
Okay. So I'm sure you really feel it after those tasks, based on kind of what you told me in the past. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that it's been such a rough go about, and I know that's pretty much been your history, right? So thankfully you're here today. We're going to start working on some stuff. This first couple sessions are probably not going to be what you exactly expect from physical therapy. So we're going to be doing a little bit more education on why you hurt, where your pain could potentially be coming from, stuff like that. I know I talked to you a little bit about it at the eval, and you said you're interested. Is that still true?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So if at any point during the session you feel like you're hurting more, or you don't understand something, or we just need to take a break, go ahead and tell me. There's no rush on any of this, and I'm happy to re-explain anything we talked about.
Okay.
So first off, I just want to start with, why do you think you're hurting? I know we talked a little before.
I don't know. I put my symptoms and what I'm feeling into Google and WebMD, and it came up possibly some kind of degenerative thing in my back. I don't know if it's a disc. I don't know if it's a nerve irritation or just degeneration. Maybe because I'm getting old. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think that could be playing a role in it?
Maybe. I know my mom had a lot of pain for a long time that never really went away. So
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out what it could be.
Okay, so you've seen your mom go through and live with a lot of pain and not really have an answer for it.
Correct.
That must have been difficult.
Yeah.
And then now you see yourself having some of those same things. That probably doesn't help matters.
No.
No. Okay. So first off, I just want to talk a little bit about degeneration and stuff like that. I've heard a reference before that I really enjoy is that, especially spinal degeneration or anything in our joints, are like internal wrinkles. Most people get them.
Now, if I had it, would that mean I can't bend over when my back just break on me, or?
No, not at all. And so, you see a lot of people with wrinkles on their skin, right? Doesn't mean anything's wrong with them. We just get them. Same thing with that degeneration in our joints or our back. Pretty much everyone gets it, and it affects everyone different. Some people get pain from it, some don't. And so just if you were down the road, your doctor would tell you have degeneration and you verify what you Googled, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to break in two. It doesn't mean that at all, actually. But, so don't be scared off by the word degeneration. If we were to take an x-ray of the population, the majority of them will show some degeneration. And most of those people don't have any symptoms. And so that's one thing that we kind of shy away from, just looking at images to tell us what's wrong. We all want to know what's going on inside. We want to point to something and say that's hurting us. But that's not always the case. And so if someone takes an image and they just focus on that, sometimes the bigger picture can be missed.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about getting an x-ray? Or
I was thinking, but I just want the pain to go away. So if I need an image test for that, or if I don't, I prefer not to. I just don't want the pain anymore.
So you're willing to work with me to see if we can solve some of the pain without spending money on an x-ray?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good, good. So the next thing I kind of want to talk about is how amazing our brain is. And our brain is really the part that interprets our pain. So if you think about it, it's kind of like an alarm system. If something happens to our body, it sends off the alarm saying, hey, pay attention here. I'm sure you've seen an alarm system at your work or at your house or something like that, that someone's breaking in, the alarm goes off, it works perfectly. But you've probably also heard of or seen an alarm system that the wind blows and it goes off.
Yeah.
There really was no threat. Well, in some instances, the brain can have that happen to it, to become sensitized, to where, the wind will blow on your leg and it'll hurt. Have you ever had anything like that where it just didn't make sense that it hurt?
I just feel like all my pain's like that right now. I have no injury that I know of, and it's just escalating and spreading, and I don't know why.
Okay, so maybe something's going on where your brain has become sensitized, and that these little things that shouldn't be causing you pain are causing you pain. And so, kind of like what happens here, so I have nice little pictures for you, because you probably won't understand my hand gestures. But think of this alarm system, we kind of sit at this level all the time. There's always kind of something going on, that way if something were to happen, it's ready to go. When you have an injury, it brings you up here so that your body knows to pay attention to that area and protect it when there's an injury. Now as we heal, it'll bring us back down to this baseline, but that'll take a little bit of time because we want to protect that area as it's healing. Nothing worse than, breaking an ankle and not having the body pay attention to it and go re-break it, right? So we gotta kind of pay attention to it for a while until it's healed. So that's a very normal process. In some instances, I'll explain this in a little bit better. When the brain gets sensitized, your new baseline is much higher.
Can it ever go back down to normal?
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to work on. And that's what I was going to continue going on. So that's what we want, right?
Yes.
And so when it's up here, we want to start training you to kind of lower it down. By doing that, some of the steps include learning about pain. And that not every time we feel pain means something's wrong. And then being able to start exercising, doing movement without automatically getting pain. So it's not what we want at all.
No, I would love to have my life back.
Yes, I don't blame you. I'm sure there's some activities you'd love to get back to.
Absolutely.
Like your yoga or your hiking. We want to get you back to that. And hopefully get you back to working. I'm sure that's driving me nuts. I know if I couldn't work, I would not be an okay person.
Yeah, it's very lonely. It's just me and bottles of wine, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily the best solution every day,
No.
to be sitting there by yourself. So I'm here for you. We're going to continue working on this. So we're definitely going to do some education on this stuff. We're going to slowly start giving some exercises. We're going to go here in the clinic. I'm going to have you do them at home. And we're going to reteach your brain that movement is okay. It doesn't equal pain. And we're going to slowly work on this until we're able to get you back to some of your more regular activities.
Do you think I'll be able to go back to my activities eventually?
Absolutely. I think you're going to be able to clean your house, to go back to work, to do yoga. I think those are very realistic possibilities. Now, depending on the root cause of what's causing all this pain, you may never be an absolute 0 out of 10 pain, but we can get you down to a point where it's absolutely manageable. You're not at a 20 out of 10 pain all the time. And that's why I'm going to have you go see some other people so that we can have a better approach, not just me working with you, but having other specialists that know this kind of stuff. Find a better, narrow down our scope. So I'm going to do my part in educating and getting you moving without pain. They're going to help with other symptoms of it and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we're definitely going to bring this back down so that the alarm isn't going off all the time just because the wind blows or anything like that.
Okay.
So I just kind of want to follow up, make sure what I was explaining made sense. What were your key takeaway points from what I kind of taught you?
Basically, my internal alarm is firing for things it shouldn't be firing for, and that's I'm in pain, even though I might not be injured or not as injured as bad as I'm feeling.
Okay.
And that we can eventually bring that alarm back down to normal, livable, manageable area.
Now, what's your understanding of how we're going to do that?
Through education, me learning more about pain, and then me exercising and realizing that just because I'm moving more doesn't mean I'm being more pain.
So one point I do want to clarify is on that exercise, I'm not going to have you push through a lot of pain and kind of push it past a point.
Okay.
We're going to work on finding those areas where we can exercise and be okay. We're not going to tough it out. We're not going to push to finish this task just because we need to be finished. We can take breaks.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So we're not going to powerhouse. I know you're a strong woman. I know you are. But we're not going to push it to that point.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions?
I think that's everything.
Any concerns before we move forward?
No.